Good day, my little explorers, and welcome to another sunny day in Australia. You're going to need your armbands and your goggles today because we're going underwater to investigate some of the marine life that lives in Australia. Are you ready? Let's dive in and see who we can see. So first one, who could this animal be? It is, of course, the Great White Shark. Whoa, now not only is he really big, but he's probably the most powerful and one of the most dangerous animals in the whole world. So we probably don't want to stick around too long, do we? Let's just quickly say hello, quickly say goodbye and move on. Ooh, let's see who we can see next. Who's that? It is, of course, the turtle. Oh, I just love turtles. Look how gorgeous he is. And turtles can live to be over 150 years old, some of the species. So that is amazing. So probably let him get on his way now. And let's find out who else we can see. Okay. What could this be? Anyone know? It is a jellyfish. Well, it's a lot of jellyfishes. Now, there are lots of different types of jellyfish, and some are more dangerous than others. Can you see their long tentacles here? Well, they can sting you, and I've been stung by a jellyfish before, but it was by a jellyfish that's not too dangerous, so I knew I wasn't in trouble. So if you ever see one of these in the water, probably best to get out. Okay, let's see who else we can find. I wonder who oh, there's two. I wonder who they are. It is, of course, it's Nemo and Dory. There they are. Does anyone know what their real names are? Well, Nemo here is a clownfish and Dory is a blue tang, and they're just two of thousands of fish that live under the water. Okay, last one. Ooh, who's this one? This is probably my least favourite. Anyone got any ideas? This is an octopus. Ooh, look at him. Did you know that if an octopus feels like they're in danger, they release ink, which makes the water all cloudy so they can run off and or swim off and escape? Ooh, very creepy. Right, okay. Let's have a look. Now, all of these animals live somewhere called the Great Barrier Reef. Has anyone heard of that before? Well, this is what it is. Can you see all these little tiny white squiggly lines? Well, they're a reef. And this picture was taken from space. So all the way up in the stars, we can see the Great Barrier Reef. Let's take a closer look. So this picture was taken from a helicopter. And all those white bits that you saw in the last picture, this is what they look like up close. And these are all reef systems. And let's go underwater. This is what it looks like. Oh, isn't it beautiful? Now let's take another closer look. This is a video. And I could watch this for ages. It's so amazing. And it just shows you some of the Great Barrier Reef. Now, all that it is made out of is coral and, of course, lots of marine animals. And you might find animals there such as fish. In fact, there are over 1,500 different types of fish. That means there's a lot of different fish. Look, there's a jellyfish. We've just seen one of those. But you might also sometimes find things like starfish and seahorses. Anyone heard of those before? You might find crabs and lobsters. Sometimes you might even get reef sharks or dolphins. So there are lots of different animals that live there, and they feed off of the coral, and in turn they help the coral to grow. So they kind of work together. Now, this is a picture of me and my friend when we went to the Great Barrier Reef, and we had to wear these funny flippers, and this is our snorkel, and we went into the water. And it was very, very important that we didn't disturb anything. We were not allowed to touch any of the coral, and that was very important. And the reason why is because we have bacteria on our skin that if we touch the coral, it can damage and kill some of it. So we didn't want to destroy anything, or we didn't want to hurt anything. So we had to be very careful as we were swimming. And these are amazing fish, look, because they kind of look at the blue. They kind of change colour in the light. Aren't they gorgeous? But it's just such a magical world underneath the ocean. When you look on top, have a look at the ocean behind us. Doesn't look like there's much there, does it? Look, there's a reef shark. I saw one of those, but it was really far down, so I knew I was safe. I didn't want to get too close to a shark. I don't think reef sharks like eating people anyway, so that was good. But it's just the most magical place ever underneath. Look, there we go. With a little fish next to him. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to do a bit of a saltwater experiment. So, join me on the next slide and I'm going to show you what to do. Ready? Okay, reception, I have a question for you. How is water in the ocean different from water in your tap? Well, the answer is water in the ocean has salt in. It's called salt water. And water in the tap is fresh. It doesn't have very much salt in. So we're going to do a saltwater experiment together. We are going to make this egg float to the top. How are we going to do that? Well, you are going to need a container that's full of fresh water from the tap. You are going to need some salt. I have a utensil for taking my egg out. I have a spoon for mixing and a tea towel to put my egg on. Now, let's see first of all what happens to my egg when I put it into the fresh water. Did you hear that? It sunk to the bottom. Okay, so I'm just going to move it around so you can see. So no matter what I do, I cannot get my egg to float. Now, if I turn this water into salt water, the egg will float to the top. So, first of all, I'm going to take my egg out so I don't damage it as I put my salt in. I'm going to pour some salt into my water. I'm going to do a little bit at a time. Okay, now I don't know if you can see this on the camera, but the salt has all gone to the bottom of the bowl, so I need to give it a good mix round until I cannot see it anymore. That's called dissolving. Okay, the salt is into the water. And I'm going to keep stirring and keep mixing round until my egg can float to the top. So you don't have to watch me stir for 10 minutes. I'm going to pause the video and I'll join you back in a minute once all of this has dissolved. Okay? So after what felt like a good hour of mixing, I finally cannot see any of the salt anymore. It has dissolved into the water, which means my water is now salt water. And if you're brave enough to dip your finger in and have a taste, it really doesn't taste very nice. Now this is the moment of truth, because if this is true salt water, my egg is going to float on top. Shall we have a go? Okay, let's put my egg in. I'm actually going to put it down to the bottom and then let it go and see what happens. Ready? Amazing! Can you see it? It's floating to the top, which means my experiment has worked. I have now made salt water. Great job, everyone! So there we are, reception. I hope you've enjoyed learning a little bit about the Great Barrier Reef and enjoyed making our own salt water for the saltwater experiment. That may be enough for you today. Remember, it's important to have a rest and a break, but if you want to try it for yourself, you could decorate your egg to look like a fish, or even add your own shells to the bottom of the container to create your own miniature Great Barrier Reef. If you do decide to do it, please share it with me. I'd absolutely love to see your experiment. But if not, I will see you on Friday for another lesson. We're going to be making some Australian cookies on Friday. So have a lovely couple of days. Enjoy World Book Day tomorrow, and I'll see you very soon. Bye, everyone.